Hi everyone, it's Taryn.
And Stella here from Meeple University. Thanks for joining us.
Today we'll be teaching you how to play First Empires. Hopefully after this video you'll be ready to play the game. Stay tuned. Let's learn to play First Empires, game designed by Eric B. Vogel and published by Sandcastle Games.
If you find value from this video later, please hit the like button, subscribe to us, hit the bell and leave your feedback in the comments for others to find. For now, let's get to the table.
First Empires is a light, dice-rolling, civilization building type of game for 2 to 5 players. Players will roll dice and move their soldiers around the board with the intention of increasing on their civilization tracks, capturing cities, and scoring objective cards. The player who earns the most points over 7 or 8 rounds of play, depending on your player count, will have the best empire and win the game. To set up, put the board on the Eurasian side for 2 players, or the world side at higher player count. You will not use the Americas part of the board in a 4-player game, and you won't use the Malagasy or Ezu Islands at 3 players. Each player takes a player board. You must use orange and yellow at 2 players, and may only use green at 5. The first player takes the round tracker, set to the appropriate side, and places the round marker on the alpha space. Now take all of your coloured pieces, 6 cities, 5 cubes, 10 explorers, and a deck of 9 achievement cards. The cubes are placed into the bottom space of each of your 5 tracks. The cards are shuffled, and then you'll draw a number of them into your hand equal to this number at the bottom of your green track. So here 1. The city tokens, which show different numbers of victory points, are also shuffled face down. And no player may look at the other side of them until the end of the game. Place 1 above each of your 5 tracks, and place the 6th into the starting region matching your colour on the main board. Take a number of explorers matching this number at the bottom of your yellow track, and add them to the same region. You're now ready to play. First Empires is played in turns, starting from the first player and going clockwise around the table. Each time play passes to the first player should advance the round marker to keep track of the length of the game. A player's turn is broken into 3 steps, and how strong you are at each step depends on your progress on each of the 5 tracks. The first step is rolling dice, where you will roll and then optionally re-roll dice, trying to get the symbols you want. Second is the movement and conquest phase, where you can move your explorers around the board, trying to occupy or possibly conquer territories that again show the same symbols that you've been trying to roll. And third is the advancement phase, and here, anywhere you've rolled a symbol which matches a region you control, you can advance on that step of your civilization. There are only 3 ways to score points in First Empires. Firstly, by advancing on the tracks, scoring the points where your cube ends up. Second, by completing the objectives on achievement cards from hand, scoring the points as shown. And thirdly, by capturing your opponent's cities while defending your own. So now let's look at each step in more detail. The first step is die rolling, and this utilises the first 2 columns of your civilization sheet. You'll begin the phase by rolling a number of dice equal to this number on your position on the orange track. Then you may perform a number of Yahtzee re-rolls based on this number on your current position on the blue track. So here the player could do 2 complete or partial re-rolls. Then you'll move on to the movement and conquest phase, and for this you'll need to take note of the number of moves your civilization has, which is this number on the purple track, plus the number of swords that you've rolled as part of your roll. If you have any achievement cards in your hand, then you may discard one from the game in order to reset one of the die faces to another sword, and you can do this as many times as you wish. Now move your explorers. Each movement point lets you move 1 explorer across 1 border, be that land to land, land to sea, or sea to sea. Explorers cannot end your turn in the sea, so if you do move in the sea, you must have enough movement points to complete the movement to land. What you've just observed was 3 movement points. You can always freely move into a land space with no enemy explorers. But if there are enemy explorers, then you'll have to conquer the territory. You can do this by moving in more explorers than the other player has. Or you can move in equal or fewer as long as you have rolled enough black swords to make up the difference. Here, for example, 2 explorers plus 2 swords is 4, which is enough to conquer this territory of 3. The swords are not consumed, allowing this player to do multiple conquests with these 2 swords in the same turn. When conquered, the player who was conquered moves all of the explorers to one other territory in which the player has at least 1 explorer. For this reason, no player is allowed to conquer another player's final territory, so in this instance the green player is safe from being conquered. Then, if there are 1 or more opposing players' cities in the region which has been conquered, then the conquering player takes the city and collects it face down to be scored at the end of the game. Cities have no defensive value, and so a player could simply walk in here with a single explorer and no swords, still claiming this city. A player's movements can be simultaneous, sequential, or a mix of both, so here the player could conquer in this territory and then conquer in this territory on the same turn. The third step is the advancement step, and this is where you will advance on your civilization tracks. As before, if you have any achievement cards in hand, then you may optionally discard one from the game to reset a die to any face of your choice, including a sword that you've used in Conquest this round. And you can do this multiple times if you have enough cards to do so. Then, for any pair of a die symbol and a matching region that you control, you may advance your cube 1 step up that track. Each region and die counts only once, so here the player can advance on the yellow track with 1 die, but doesn't have a second die to advance from this region. There's no immediate effect for the first 3 tracks, you'll just be stronger for subsequent turns. On the green track, if you advance to a new +1 icon, then you will draw a new achievement card from your deck into your hand. And if you advance to a new number on the yellow track, then take explorers from your supply and add them to the board in regions where you already have explorers until you have as many explorers on the board as your position on the yellow track. Finally, when you advance your cube onto any space showing this maroon city icon, then take that column's city from the top of the column, and if possible, place it into a region which contains 1 or more of your explorers and none of your cities. If not possible, then place it into a region already containing a city. If you can defend this city until the end of the game, then you'll score the points underneath it. Otherwise, the conqueror will take the points. At any time on your turn, but only on your turn, if you meet the requirements as printed on an achievement card in your hand, then you may play that card face up onto the table, and this will trigger the victory points as shown in the bottom left corner. Each player's deck is different, with some objectives based on map position and some based on your upgrading. You start with a deck of 9 cards, but based on the green track, you'll only ever draw 7 of them, so you'll never totally know which objectives will come out during the game. After all players have completed their final turn, then the game is over and you'll count up final scores. Add up all the points from your finishing positions on each of your 5 civilization tracks, and your completed achievement cards, then reveal and add the points on any cities that you've captured, and any of your own coloured cities which remain on the main board. The player with the highest score wins. If tied, whoever has the most cards left in hand breaks the tie. And if still tied, combined points from cities and achievement cards breaks the tie. If still tied, victory is shared. And that's how to play First Empires. We hope you enjoyed this video.
If you find this video useful, if it helps you somehow, please help us by hitting the like button. Subscribe to us, you can also hit the meeple in the corner to do that, and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we have new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram for my board games journey.
And if you have any questions, comments or feedback, please leave them in the comments section below.
Thanks for watching and see you next time.